Hey, welcome to the Christian Media Marketing Show. My name is John. I am honored to be able to spend some time with you today. Thanks for giving me a break last week, and it was enjoyable. I literally sat on a cruise boat, got tons of sun, read some really good books. In fact, one of them I'm going to be doing maybe one or two episodes on here coming up here in the next couple of weeks. But it was just good. It's just great to be able to step away from work for a little bit. And even when you love what you do and you love who you get to serve, it's good to take rest. It's just good to take Sabbath time, to get away, to just rest in the Lord and just rest, to recreate. So I am grateful for that opportunity. And the underlying theme behind that was, as far as I know, no tumors. They haven't come back. And so each year we, right around this time, try to celebrate that, take the no tumor tour, save up our credit card miles throughout the year so that we can do it. And it's always a great time. I was able to read a lot. I'm going to be sharing with you all some really fascinating information that I've been able to learn that'll be coming up. But in the midst of the cruise that I was on, an exciting thing happened. A brand new AI was released, and that's what I'm going to be sharing and talking with you about today. An AI that's been called, its name is DeepSeek. But before I get into that, I do want to make just a little bit of a promotion and let you know of a brand new class that's going to be coming up from some friends of mine from the really just people that I admire greatly. And so this is from MMU, and MMU is a great, great ministry, close friends in laboring together in the Lord. And I have recommended people to go through their digital engagement, Foundations of Digital Engagement Strategy course for the last few years now that they have been doing it. To me, it is a fantastic course. It's a hands-on one. It is cutting edge. It is what is happening right now and how you can leverage it. It's a great way to get started. And so really would encourage you to look into it. You can go to their website there. You'll be able to see what all you're going to get from the course, the different modules that they're going to be offering, and just the cost that's involved for them to put this together. There's a lot to it, so much that they're putting together, and I'm really thankful for them. So go to Mission Media, the letter U, missionmediau.org/foundations of digital engagement dash strategies. So foundations of digital engagement strategies. Or I think you can just go to missionmediau.org and it'll be there where you can see it. So much is going on. One of our Kavanaugh Media key people is a part of this course and helping share in that. And so I just know you're going to be blessed. And I really, really recommend it. All right, so let's dive in today to just this concept of DeepSeek. What is it? What's going on? What concerns are there? What's happening with this whole thing? Because this came out and wow, I tell you, there was some real excitement in one sense because people saw this to say, wow, well, the amount of money that was spent to build this in relation to like OpenAI and others was a fraction of the cost. And the immediate response was companies like NVIDIA and others, Microsoft, were hit hard in the stock market. In fact, the day after DeepSeek was released, NVIDIA was down 17%, their stock price was. But as is often, what is first reported isn't always necessarily the truth. And in fact, now, about a week later, we're starting to see that a lot more money was actually invested into this startup and a lot more technology was behind it. The processing, the graphic processing units, the GPU units, things like that. But what I want to lean in today is just the safety and the security concerns that I have about this software. And just a little bit about what I would say is to at least be careful. All right, so what is DeepSeek? Well, it is a Chinese artificial intelligence company. It is based in China. It is founded by a Chinese man named Liang Wangfeng. Just a little bit over a year ago, about a year and a half ago, so July of 2023. And he's also the co-founder of a hedge fund that was investing a lot into this that's called High Flyer. So in January of this year, of 2025, they released their first LLM. It's a 671 billion parameter open source reasoning AI model. Now, let me stop there for a second. I like the fact that it's open source. So there's a transparency to it. That's not my security concern. In fact, I think that's a good thing when the software itself can be looked at, the open source part of that. All right. And so they were saying originally that the cost to develop it was around $5.6 million. And now it's more like 550 some million or maybe more. But that was part of what shook this up, is because you've got companies like OpenAI and others raising billions to build out what they're doing. And then here comes along this startup, and they said they spent $5 million. Well, yeah, it created quite a stir. So it has this Chat GPT type of AI assistant that many are saying surpasses Chat GPT. Interestingly, OpenAI, the people that own ChatGPT, have released another module and another thing that they're doing. In fact, two things that they've just released this week: deep research, which I'll talk about some other time, and a new model there. But from the whole idea of the app itself, it has exploded on the app stores out there. It has been the top-rated free application on Apple's App Store in the United States. So what do we think about DeepSeek? Is it a good AI model? Well, yeah, it seems like that in many ways it does a great job, but there is censorship built into it. So don't ask it about the June 4th, Tiananmen Square. Don't say words like Taiwan or ask about it. So there's an obvious bias and an obvious level of censorship that's happening. But if you're doing math homework or you're working on a presentation or some sort of analysis, yeah, it does a really good job. But really the question is it safe? So Cisco did some research on this, and they researched their team using a bunch of algorithmic jailbreaking techniques to test DeepSeek R1, which is the large language model they've released, against 50 different random prompts from the Harm Bench dataset. And this looks at a bunch of different areas of very scary things, harmful behaviors. So cybercrime, misinformation, illegal activities, just things like that. Right? So they're trying to see, will this tool, will it not respond to these things? And according to Cisco, the results were quite alarming. In fact, it exhibited an 100% attack success rate, which means that it failed to stop a single harmful prompt. And this contrasts starkly, Cisco says, with other leading models, which many of them have at least a partial resistance to these harmful prompts, and some are getting even more and more as time moves along. So is it safe to use? Well, I guess if you're trying to do bad things, it'd be the tool of choice. But this is one of my major concerns in areas of cyber security, is tools like this being used for wrong things. And it looks like it could be used in a very non-safe way. There's also just this safety when it comes to your privacy and your data itself. They do have a very robust privacy statement. If you go to chat.deepseek.com/downloads/DeepSeek privacy policy.html, you can see their privacy policy. And let's just dive into that here for a second. For those of you who are listening to the podcast and not watching the YouTube, I'll try to tell you the things that I'm seeing right here. So when you look through their privacy policy, it says who is the data controller. And here's the things I want you to lean into and hear. The information they collect. There's three areas to it. Information you provide. So information such as what you provide at setup, your date of birth, email address, telephone number, password. It also is taking in your user input. So they can collect your text, your audio, your prompts, if you upload files to these, your feedback, all of that. And this is true of OpenAI and other ones. You need to be careful about what level of information that you're uploading. All right, and there are tools where you can run LLMs straight on your computer without using the internet at all, using tools like Llama or other ones. But this one is uploading that data. And so all of that information, anything you upload, can be used by them. And when you reach out to them, it says they can save that. But then there's more. There's information that they collect automatically. And this is the stuff that started getting me concerned. They're looking at what device you're using, the operating system, keystrokes or patterns or rhythms. So these keystroke patterns or rhythms, it helps them really fingerprint you and what you're doing when you are using their system. Your IP address, your system language, so much stuff that they can do there. So they're getting your data, and they're able to even just see how your computer is running, what you're using on it, and how you're using it. They have cookies, pixels, all of that, payment information if you upload that, that's all there. Even third-party data. So if you're using single sign-on or different things to get into their program, those things can be used and stored. They also look at other partners, advertisers, and others that share information with them about you. And there is an unbelievable amount of data now that's being collected if you're using this information. But where is this information stored? Well, if you scroll down on their privacy policy, you will see that their whole servers, everything on their servers, is being stored in China. All right. So the personal information we collect from you, it says, may be stored or on a server located outside of the country where you live. We store the information we collect in secure servers located in the People's Republic of China. And so that raises a lot of concerns to me. This isn't just that I hate China or whatever, but there is a cybersecurity war that's happening in one sense, not in a full-on war as in kinetic types of stuff and systems being shut down, but so much that's happening by many countries, China, United States, many others. And there's a vast amount of data that's being collected about citizens all around the world. And I am concerned about the weaponization of data itself and how that can be used, especially for those of you who are working in ministry context. I think this could be a very scary thing. You need to be careful when you use a tool like DeepSeek. This is why even the whole thing about TikTok and the data and what is happening and the ability to influence through the algorithms, all of this stuff is part of the potential weaponization of cyber issues and cyber warfare type of things. So would I use DeepSeek? Well, the answer to that is no. I would not be sharing any personal information. I would not currently be uploading any ministry information to that, and I would be very careful in using it. I am 100% behind the use of AI and these tools. I think they're fantastic, but we need to be smart about how we're using them, what we're uploading, and where that information is being stored. And so be careful when you're using these tools. All right, so that's a little bit to it. There's a lot more there. You can go to their website, check out the privacy policy. One of these other times, I'll do a whole podcast here about tools to allow you to run some of these large language models right on your own computer. You don't even have to have internet then once you download them to use them. But for this one, because it's so popular, I wanted to get this episode out, make you aware of at least where the data is being stored, some of the censorship, some of the privacy issues, and to let you be aware of some of these things so that you can make informed decisions. As always, this show comes out every Friday, Lord willing, and we're honored to be able to serve in this way. If there's topics that you would like to hear about, if there's questions that you have, don't forget to reach out. We also have the weekly marketing newsletter where we're putting out specific marketing news from the week. You can sign up for that on our CavanaughMedia.com website. And we also have a monthly newsletter that just is bragging about what God's doing around the world, things that we're seeing in the over 120 countries around the world that we get to serve. God is at work. His Spirit is at work, renewing all things. And it's just an honor to serve the King alongside you all. So until next time, keep pressing forward. Keep doing all you can to make Jesus famous. May the Lord bless your efforts. Take care, and God bless.